We are now live.
Hello.
Greetings to you all. Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, very good. Well, this is your host, Wali Muhammad, with the illustrious Dr. Michael C. Grayson. And Dr. Grayson has decided to come with this young man that we can present to you an offering of hope in one of the greatest, most scandalous times in the history of America. And that is the greatest transfer of wealth since this country was formed. We have the renowned Dr. Michael Grayson with us today. And Dr. Grayson, I'm very honored. I feel very privileged and very grateful that you would spend time from your busy day and all of your endeavors to help us to understand this plight that is affecting so many in our community and really, in truth, the whole of America. Thank you
Well,
for joining us today, Dr. Grayson.
the pleasure's all mine. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being bold enough to tackle the hard issues. There's a lot of people that don't want to, they want to make people feel good, but they're not really in the business of solutions. And that is what I love and respect about you.
Well, I think that to whom much is given, much is required, Dr. Grayson. And I don't have the knowledge, but I got a friend that do. And we want to have a conversation to restill hope in people who are suffering and being deprived of sleep and all sorts of ill malfeasance, if you will, in their lives due to the criminal activity of the banks who are literally robbing people of their well-earned homes.
Yes, sir.
So let's begin, Doc. Can you tell us exactly what is foreclosure?
Okay.
Why is it so important to understand it today? And can you give us some numbers to show us that foreclosure is on the rise at an astronomical rate?
All right, so let's start by taking a look at some of the numbers. Now, we have talked about this in previous years, and we forecasted this transition of wealth. According to a recent survey from Bankrate, uh, there's an estimated 2 million homeowners have fallen behind on their mortgages. So right now, this is current. You have 95,349 U.S. properties which fell into foreclosure filing just in the first quarter of this year. And banks are aggressively going after people's homes. They're aggressively going after them. And let me tell you why, though, and this is kind of insidious. The data shows that 94% of homeowners with mortgages had some equity in their house. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the average value of homes are through the roof right now. So now is a good time to pull your equity out. It is a good time to sell. It is not a good time to buy because prices are up. But banks know this. So they've driven the value up of your house at a time when they are going through record foreclosures. So think about that as a win-win. So 94% of homeowners, that is almost every home, has some equity built into their properties, right? Nearly half of them are what they call equity rich, meaning that they owe less than half of their properties, what the property is worth. So they're equity rich. Half the people are equity rich. So that is creating another phenomena. And I was reading about this and it made me so unhappy. Reverse mortgage foreclosures is blowing up right now in the country. I don't know if you remember years back. I don't see a lot of it now, but there was always famous celebrities, older celebrities, telling you Tom Selleck was selling you a reverse mortgage.
Yeah,
Get
that's
a
who comes to mind.
yeah, they were on every commercial, and a lot of older folks, middle-aged people signed up for reverse mortgages. The problem is most middle-aged folks want to leave their kids an inheritance, and this is the family home. You want to leave it to your beneficiary, but what happens with a reverse mortgage, as soon as you are deceased, they send a payment notice to your beneficiary where they have to pay up the full value of the house. And they're asking them for top dollar. So they immediately, if you can't come up and, who can do it? You need time to consummate a mortgage, those kinds of things, if you're not prepared for this. So if your credit's not good, if you don't have enough income, you got too much debt, all kinds of things can happen in that interim, especially if you're trying to pay for a funeral or something like that. So these people are not prepared to immediately buy this property from the reverse mortgage company. So they're just foreclosing and taking your family home. So foreclosures are a nightmare right now. So I want to use this show. We're going to talk about how to stop a foreclosure. Now, everybody trusts Google. Google has done an excellent job of selling themselves as the go-to standard for information on anything, a wide variety of topics. So most people, if they have a foreclosure problem, they're going to do, what everybody does. They're going to go to Google and say, how to stop a foreclosure, which is what I did. I Googled how to stop a foreclosure, and I came up with this right here. It says 5 ways to stop a foreclosure. So if you look at Google, you put in how to stop a foreclosure, consistently, they will give you these 5 options ranked in order. So the number one choice that they're telling you if your house is in foreclosure is to sell your house. Brother Wali, that is evil.
That's the first thing they want you to do when you're in foreclosure is just sell it.
Giving you. As soon as you're in foreclosure, they're saying sell the house. Get out. And that works very well to the benefit of the banks. Most banks offer you a keys to cash swap. They'll give you a couple grand if you get out of the house quietly. So that is why Google is programming you, just get rid of the house, get rid of the trouble and the hassle, sell your house. But this is your home. You've been in this house, all your life. You're not ready to move. You're not in a position to move. Plus, you probably have equity in this house. You probably have equity in the house. So if you got a lot of equity and you want to sell, fine. But if not, then there's some other options that they will give you. The number 2 choice they give you is to refinance your home. That is a great idea. If you have a lot of equity in your house, refinance it, pull the equity out, pay these guys, that kind of thing. The only problem with this suggestion is if you're having problems with your mortgage and you're up for foreclosure, that means you're behind on payments.
Right.
Who is going to refinance your house if you're behind on your mortgage? That is not how the industry works. If you have bad credit, you can't access capital. You should know that from our previous program. You need a good score. At least even in a mortgage, you need 680. If you're under 680, forget about it. Ideally, they want you at 720. But you need good credit for that. And chances are, if you're falling behind on your house, you don't have good credit. So that is a very frustrating suggestion. Number 3, get a loan modification. Obviously, again, a very good suggestion in theory. All of these are good in theory, but in practice, they're frustrating and evil. So it says get a loan modification. Of course you want a loan modification, but guess what? 92% of the people that apply for loan modifications never get it.
92%.
92%. I don't know if any of you have been through the loan modification process. We do loan modification as a core of our business, and we're 100% successful, but sometimes we might have to apply 7 times and we got to beat these guys up. The only reason we're 100% successful is because we sue them if they don't give you a loan modification. So if you're not prepared or armed with the ability to go through protracted litigation, the loan mod option is not going to work. You're going to apply for loan modification. You're going to get turned down. Okay? You're going to get turned down. And let me tell you, you better be real careful with this option. This is a trap. If you apply for loan modification and you don't know the mathematical formula that guarantees your approval, you won't get it. The loan modification is a formula-driven process. Most people just apply blindly for a loan mod and leave it to the fates to determine if you're going to get a loan mod. That's why you don't get it. The entire process is designed to disqualify you. That's why you're not getting it. Think about this. The government paid the mortgage industry billions of dollars to give you a loan mod. The loan mod is costing them nothing. But again, they took the government's money. Now they're going to steal your equity. For them, it's a win-win. They got you both ways. So the loan mod is a trap now. So this is what happens. You apply for loan mod and you're honest and you're good and you tell them the truth. This is the reason, the problems. They'll ask you for a hardship letter. You pour out your heart and, I lost my job, COVID, whatever the reason is. Okay, they still turn you down. They find a reason to turn you down. This is the problem. If you're applying for loan mod the wrong way and you get turned down, it is grounds for foreclosure. Now they will take you instantly to foreclosure. So remember, in America, before you can foreclose on me, you have to go through foreclosure prevention. That is the law. So if you apply and get turned down, the creditor will say, we tried to give them foreclosure prevention. It's not our fault they don't qualify. That is an evil trap. You have to navigate their system in order to get a loan modification. It's very difficult. So again, it takes a lot of pressure. You have to apply, even if you qualify for a loan mod, 99% of you qualify for a loan modification. The only thing that disqualifies you is if you have zero income. And even then, if you have enough supplementary income, you got people renting rooms, whatever, you could still qualify, right? So obviously, almost everybody qualifies for loan mod, but the system, they're not going to teach you how to apply the right way. They're not going to do it. They're not going to teach you their formula. So there's a lot of pitfalls in applying. And once you apply and you're turned down, now you're in big trouble. So be very careful with that option. Please, you need expert help with that. The fifth solution they gave you is called filing for bankruptcy. Oh my goodness. This is number one with a bullet on the internet. This is everybody's solution set. And this is primarily because most attorneys don't understand debt and credit law. You ask any attorney how much time did they spend in law school studying debt and credit law. And they will tell you they spent very little time on debt and credit law. Because as a business model, being an attorney and you're designing a practice, you don't want to design a practice for people who are broke and can't pay their bills with bad credit. You want to stay away from broke with bad credit. So you're not going to dedicate any time to understanding their problems and methodologies on how to fix them. So they came up with a one-trick pony called bankruptcy. Now, this is what I want you to ask anybody that you know. Has a house ever been saved through bankruptcy? Wow. Less than maybe 1% of homes are saved through bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a stalling procedure. It does not save your house. I want you to Google